This is Bitcoin dominance momentum. This MACD line in blue getting ready to fall below the red signal line is something that has not happened since almost 5 years ago, February 2021. And that move back in February 2021 kicked off altcoins breaking through their previous cycle all-time high as they hovered just below all-time high area. This is exactly what is happening right now. All the while, Ethereum on the daily chart falling, Cardano on the daily chart falling. I want to talk about targets in this video for this consolidation. There are some barriers in the way for altcoin holders and crypto holders in general, and that is massive market manipulation, and I wanted to discuss what that looks like in this video. So please hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. If you're a macro investor, if you're playing the long game and you want to have a strategy, you want to take profits this cycle, check out the link below. Our free trial still going on for 7 days. Our exit planners, our risk models, it's proprietary data that is back there, and it's allowing all of us, myself, our members, to plan for this cycle. So go try it out for free. If you don't like it, just cancel. So let's dive in. I want to start on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and I want to talk about it in context to the altcoin chart. And then we're going to kind of go into the Ethereum analysis and the ADA analysis. So Bitcoin dominance right now, if you look at the MACD, is getting ready to set up this move. One thing that I've noticed, like over the years, this is one thing that is for sure with my analysis. I'm always visualizing moves, and I really do think that oftentimes I think they're going to happen sooner than later. Here's a very good example. It's the Bitcoin dominance chart. If you've been watching my channel for some time, you know we've been tracking this lower high Fibonacci for kind of the kickstart of altcoin season. I want to show you a very quick clip. This is from this is like a year and a half ago, January 2024. Check this out. On the Bitcoin dominance chart, we're anticipating that Bitcoin dominance could just kind of top out this cycle around 60, maybe up to 65. And this could be the move that gets it there before the bull market and Bitcoin dominance. I mean, the squiggly lines, that playing out looks so good. But if you go look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, it's taken a while. It's taken longer than maybe anticipated. And I think this is a very big reason why much of the industry right here was even faked out with a potential altcoin season. But in this video, I do want to kind of break down very simply why this move here looks even more convincing of a potential altcoin season setup than this move. So we hit this Fibonacci back here, resistance, support at the 20-month, went higher for months on the Bitcoin dominance chart. But even with that January 2024 video, you see that range up there in the red rectangle. This range played out very nicely for Bitcoin dominance to kind of gravitate towards, and we saw resistance at the upper end of the Fibonacci range, and right now we're falling. Now, what makes it more convincing is this. We have this Bitcoin dominance chart on the MACD line getting ready to fall below the signal line, that red line that you see there. This is a move that happened back here to kickstart altcoin season last cycle in February 2021. That is quite some time ago. And if you look at the move on the Bitcoin dominance chart, January into February 2021, there it is, just boom, falling off a cliff. And if you look at the altcoin chart during that move, guess what? Altcoins, they were hovering in February 2021 just below the previous cycle all-time high. And right now, altcoins hovering just below the previous cycle all-time high. The setup is very much in play. One thing, if you even just glance at the altcoin chart, and I really want to discuss this and pivot into the manipulation that is happening right now, and then we can look at Ethereum targets and Cardano targets, is just look at all of this. Look how long this has taken compared to kind of right here. It's just, you can just see a more flat, higher high, higher low pattern that's been setting up rather than kind of just, we hit October 2020 and it's up only for altcoins. This is something that's not playing out exactly as consistently. And I think that's frustrating to a lot of people, but I think there's a power of opportunity that lies behind that chart, this chart that you see here. It's just been slow growth, higher high, higher lows. But during this entire movement, really, there's been manipulation. And I think that is for just big money to accumulate. We're in a brand new cycle, a cycle like we've never seen before in terms of institutions coming on board, governments coming on board in the crypto space. And so we're really getting kind of this very clear picture of what is happening from a price perspective, the volatility of it, these dips that are frustrating everybody. It's driving terrible sentiment in my comments, and not just my comments, but just the sentiment in crypto in general. Market maker update, Binance sending assets to Wintermute, which is a market maker, to liquidate long leveraged traders. This is what's happening right now, everybody. This is a post from today. Binance is dumping millions of Ethereum. Why? To wipe out leveraged longs. Once liquidations hit, they pump it back up. Proof. And you can just see these transactions on chain. This is what's happening right now. And this is the continued story of what's happening. So in relation to even the price action right now, this is like not even an hour ago this was posted. Marty Party over here on X has been tracking this very, very heavily. Liquidation levels update. Binance is chasing down the band of high leverage red lines to $113,800 before moving up. The $113,800 flush could cascade into the yellow lines and hit as low as the 50%, which is $111,000. Same for ETH. Binance wants the yellow to 41 or 4,180 and can cascade to 50% at 4,084. This plays right into our analysis anyway that we've been tracking on the Ethereum charts. Be patient here. Low leverage wins, spot wins. High leverage always loses. Stop using high leverage, everybody. I don't know what else to say. It is clear as day, and this has been a continued story. I'm not going to read this post, but this is back from July 3rd, 2025. Crypto about to break out, and the entire move gets shut down via market maker wash trading. This is exactly what's happening right now. And if we even look at just July, where's July 2025? We're like July 3rd. We're like right here, right? Like in this area. So I'm posting that back there around 2,500. And now here we are after all of the volatility. Ethereum is at around 4,200. So I'm continuing to track this move, put aside everything that we talked about. We've reached this area, we broke in the $4,500 area. We got a swing high here around 48, which was phenomenal for the analysis of this move. That is, we broke the lower trend line of the multi-year triangle. We pull back to the apex. We break the upper end of the triangle. We have the busted pattern, which is insanely here now and in play. And now that we've gotten a separation from this multi-year lower or upper trend line, we're still just evaluating this range. The 50-day, now around 3,500, the 20-day around 4,000. Interestingly enough, Marty Party over here kind of eyeing up this $4,100 to $4,000 area for this area that Binance might be driving Ethereum price. So not only from a technical analysis kind of perspective, this move into these moving averages at that area would be normal, but now we're looking at even just what's happening with leverage longs being liquidated, and that could drive Ethereum to this area. Either way, if you zoom out on a chart like this, we want to see this pullback, this throwback to the trend line and potentially even back into the apex of this triangle. Everybody, it doesn't change the macro. It doesn't change what's going on with Bitcoin dominance and with kind of the setup at the confluence of a more solid bullish business cycle, interest rates coming down, money printers on right now. It doesn't change any of that. We can't be zoomed in on all of these moves and it is frustrating. I'm right there with you. But if we get too distracted, we lose sight of the bigger picture right now. So you know what? I've been tracking these markets from bear market lows. There was Ethereum below $1,000, everybody. We've been higher highs and higher lows since then. And right now, if you just look at this move, it's just a normal move of volatility that we've seen time and time again throughout this entire process. If we go look at Cardano, same thing there. I realize ADA holders are going to be frustrated, but we've been tracking ADA from bear market lows, 22 cents. It went to $1.30, and now we're in more consolidation, and in the very short term, even more consolidation with a lot of manipulation in play. So 50-day moving average, that's like the mid 70s to around 82 cents. It's very much in play. Everybody's going to be, not everybody, but a lot of people I'm sure are going to be incredibly negative about it, not enjoying it. And I'm not going to say I enjoy it, but I'm trying to focus on the bigger picture. These are the targets for Cardano. And again, even if something like Ethereum is falling below those moving average targets, more into the apex, going to meet that 200 eventually, I don't know. ADA could be incredibly volatile. Either way, one thing I'm watching on ADA is the continued kind of structured setup on the short term here. We're having resistance at this neckline area. Let's see if ADA can put in a higher low from back here, the swing low at 68 cents. So meaning maybe Cardano goes lower. We're hitting this Fibonacci at like 81 down to around 75 cents. You can see how the Fibonacci is very confluent with the moving averages that we just discussed. And then if Cardano can manage, I don't know when, I don't know how, to see support there and make another move for this trend line, we could still have this massive setup that could drive ADA to the bull market door target of $1.25 and beyond, closer to $2. And if the bulls step in out of nowhere, the move can happen very quickly. So this is my analysis today, everybody. There's a lot of volatility, but there's many reasons for it. It's more of, for me, just zooming out on the macro and just preparing, trying not to get emotionally kind of distracted with the volatility of it. But huge indicator right now on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Hasn't happened in almost 5 years. And so let's see how this monthly candle closes on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Let's see if we get a histogram turning red for the first time since back here when it turned red in February 2021. Green to red is what I'm talking about. So going to continue tracking that move. But either way, everybody, appreciate you cruising through. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in and click our link below. Get set up with a free trial and check out our system. I really think if you're a macro investor, you will find it very useful in terms of strategizing and planning, specifically in a data-driven environment, not emotional-driven environment. So I appreciate you cruising through. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.